Welcome to Brewing with Power. I am so hyped today. We are going to be talking about a deck that I never thought I would actually try making, let alone be showcasing here, but I'm really excited about it. Shout out to the group of individuals that are working on this. Scorish, the Mono White Guy, Charles, Phoenix, we have Gustav. There are so many people working on this deck. It's so cool. This is the version that I am playing right now. This is a more turbo version of Al the Dawn Sky. But I'm really excited. Let's get into it. Okay, first let's talk about Al. It is so cool. Al is a dragon spirit for 3 colorless, 2 white, or I should say 3 generic. I'm sorry, I got beat up on the comments last time. 3 generic, 2 white, legendary creature, dragon spirit. He is 5/4. Flying vigilance. When Al the Dawn Sky dies, choose one. Look at the top 7 cards of your library. Put any number of non-land permanent cards with the total mana value of 4 or less among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order, or you can do put 2 +1/+1 counters on each permanent you control that's a creature or vehicle. Before we go any further, I wanted to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Moxfield. Moxfield proves time and time again why they are the best site for brewing and building your Magic the Gathering decks. They have recently launched new features like enhanced tagging for more robust organization, drag and drop across views for easier sorting, and a collection tracker to help you figure out which cards you have for your deck and which ones you need to acquire. This is on top of the already polished features like multiple format support, robust search, and full compatibility across multiple devices. Make sure to make Moxfield your home for all your deck lists, just like Playing with Power has done for over a year. When you look at this initially, it's a little innocuous because you don't think it's going to be so potent, that effect. It's 5 mana to get him out. It's tough. That's really, really tough. I initially saw this as a commander that I didn't think was going to be so impactful. And then I watched a game of it and I became a believer. So let's break into this. It's a very unique win. You don't really see this a lot from mono white decks. And the only other mono white decks that I think see relevance are going to be decks like Heliod or Tishar. But even with that being said, a lot of those decks run a lot of similar stacks pieces and have kind of similar ideas, like let's stack out the game and let's make this game really, really long with the intention of winning through these really hard stacks pieces. This deck can run stacks. Don't get me wrong. Stacks do really well in this deck. Al does not care about stacks. However, if you don't want to play a stacks deck, like a hard stacks deck, you can play this version and feel like you have some control of the board, but also are moving at a much faster pace than maybe its non-stacks counterparts, which are equally as good. Really, really like the builds. Anyways, let's get into it. So look at our creatures. We have 34 creatures. Why do we have 34 creatures? With the amount of creatures and artifacts and enchantments in the deck, the chances of us hitting at least one of these things is around 95 to 96%. So we really want to be able to win, right? So we have to have such a high amount of creatures, artifacts, and enchantments in the deck. We have 0 drops with Memnite, Ornithopter, Phyrexian Walker, and Walking Ballista. We have Esper Sentinel to help us draw. I'm going to talk about why these 0 drops are in here. Giver of Ruins for protection. Martyred Rusalka is a sack outlet, which is important in this deck. Mother of Runes is another thing, so we have Giver and Mother protection. Phyrexian Dreadnought is a sack outlet. Saracen is a 1-drop that is great. Weathered Wayfarer helps us get our lands. If we pull 5 lands out of the deck, the chances of us hitting like what we need for our win is bumps up to like 100%. So that's why Weathered Wayfarer is in the deck. Cathar Commando is a great removal piece. It's a creature, it's a flyer, it has flash, and it's removal. It's really, really good. Drannith Magistrate, Grand Abolisher, Leonin Relic Warder. Leonin Relic Warder has specific iterations that in this deck that are really, really good. For us, we can actually use it for removal, which is great. Lion Sash, because we like being able to exile our opponent's stuff out of their graveyard because it can be really annoying. For us, it's hard to deal with because I'm not running Rule of Laws in this deck. So I really want to be able to exile people's stuff pretty quickly. Ornithopter Paradise. It's a creature, taps for mana. Oswald, we have a line here with Oswald, Remorseful Cleric. Again, being able to exile stuff from people's graveyards because we can't really deal with Underworld Breach combos because we're not on Rule of Law effects. Important. Restoration Specialist. This helps us with recursion. Sanctifier Onvek is just a bananas card. It is our rest in peace. We don't care about it because it doesn't hurt us at all. Spirit of the Labyrinth, it's hard for us to outdraw people, and that's why this card is in the deck. We don't really need to draw that much, but this is something that I felt was a must in terms of having any sex pieces in the deck. Stoneforge Mystic, really good, searches up our win cons. Stonework Pack Beast, it allows us to do a couple things. One of them is to make mana, because we tend to make infinite colored mana or colorless mana, and we want to be able to make that generic mana into colored mana to be able to recast our commander over and over and over and over. Taklati, so we are anti, because we run so many artifacts in this deck, we really have to stop a Dockside Extortionist. That seems like it's such a hard card to play around. That's why we have this in the deck. Aven Mind Sensor, really good one-sided. Saxby's Hush Windgriff, again, can't handle Dockside. Moonblessed Cleric. We want to be able to look for an enchantment, specifically Enduring Renewal. Ranger Captain Navios, we can silence people over and over because we have the ability to bring Ranger back from the graveyard if we need to. Recruiter of the Guard helps us search for more of our win con. Sanctum Prelate, really good card. This is a really good stacks piece. Like I said, we can play under, this deck can play under a lot of stacks pieces. For us, we might want to be running Sanctum Prelate to try and maybe have it on 1 or maybe 0. I don't know if we have it on 0, but it's just good to help stop people early. Skyclave Apparition, just good to have in the deck. Thalia, because this is a one-sided piece, so we have no problem with this. Auriok Salvagers, because we run Bomberman in the deck. We have Still Shaper's Gift and Enlightened Tutor. The reason why we run these cards is because our win cons are either an enchantment or an artifact, depending on how you want to go, but we definitely need these in the deck. Okay, I'm going to skip the useful information artifacts. So we have things that make mana. Great. That's awesome. The cards that matter in this deck in terms of win cons are going to be like Nim Death Mantle. Nim Death Mantle is the main piece in the deck that is great. The reason why this is great is because Nim Death Mantle says equipped creature gets +2/+2, has Intimidate, and is a black zombie. Whenever a non-token creature is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, you may pay 4. If you do, return that card to the battlefield and attach Nim Death Mantle to it. Okay, let's look at Ow the Dawn Sky one more time. When Ow dies, right? When Ow dies, we look at the top 7 cards, put equal to 4 or less mana value onto the battlefield. So we can put a Memnite, Ornithopter, Phyrexian Walker, Esper Sentinel, Giver of Runes, and Mother of Runes, and a Phyrexian Dreadnought. We can put all 8 of those because the total mana value is 4, right? And so that's critical because in this deck, if we're able to do something like that, we can use cards like Ashnod's Altar, start sacking creatures to pay for Nim Death Mantle's trigger, reanimate Ow with Nim Death Mantle attached to it, and then sack Ow with our Phyrexian Altar and create a loop. And that loop is really effective and really efficient. And we will go over it a little bit when we play it out because it's like really interesting. This loop can get us to kind of filter through our whole deck. We have win cons like Relic Vial. We also have the ability to make infinite mana with Enduring Renewal. So whenever a creature is put into your graveyard from play, return it to your hand. So if we have Enduring Renewal out and Phyrexian Altar, we can play Memnite and create infinite mana with Memnite, and then cycle through our entire deck with Nim Death Mantle and Owl, and then from there we can get Relic Vial out eventually, and then that's how we can win. One of the ways we can win. We can also just create infinite mana and, you know, Walking Ballista everybody. Tons of different ways. Deck's super complicated, and I personally, when working with the team on this deck, there was a lot of things that were just literally going over my head because of how unique the cards are in the deck. It uses cards like Mirror of the Forebears to sack Owl, or same thing with Mirage Mirror to sack Owl, because you make Mirage Mirror a copy of Owl, leave the Mirage Mirror on the battlefield, Owl dies, put that into the graveyard, attach it to Nim Death Mantle. Like these kind of lines, which are so complex to me, at least, I felt like I was losing my brain a little bit. I was like, oh gosh, this is a lot. But really, really good. Really, really, really good stuff. Okay. Additional things that we should know about the deck. There is Oswald Fiddlebender lines that can get us there as well. And one of the things that I really want people to understand with this deck is that it does take a little bit of time to understand the deck itself because of how it operates. There are cards in the deck that you may not see at first and think this is really, really good. And then you play it and you realize, oh, this is why this card is in the deck. A good example is High Market. High Market is just there to sacrifice Owl. Phyrexian Dreadnought. Phyrexian Dreadnought reads, when it enters the battlefield, sacrifice any number of creatures with total power 12 or more, or bury Phyrexian Dreadnought. You can sacrifice Phyrexian Dreadnought and Owl to its ability, and it will die, right? Because you're sacking to itself. But that's another sack outlet for 1 mana. It's just, these type of effects are really cool, and I was just over the moon about it. In terms of enchantments, land tax, On Thin Ice is a really good removal. Blind Obedience, another stacks piece that affects our opponents. We can also, we have Extort, where whenever you cast a spell, you may pay a white or a black. If you do, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain that much life. If you happen to have Blind Obedience, Enduring Renewal, a sack outlet, and like an Ornithopter, you can just win that way. Seal of Cleansing, just a good removal piece. Grasp of Fate, good removal. Minimus Containment, again, these are all good removal pieces. Smothering Tithe is great for generating mana. Our lands are fine. You may not know this, the Seat of the Empire. It's new. It is just, again, more removal. And then we have Urza Saga. Nykthos Shrine to Nyx. I want to say this now because people need to understand. Shrine to Nyx is Mono White's Gaia's Cradle. Because Mono White is so pip intensive, it is your Gaia's Cradle. It's really, really good in Mono White decks. We have so many cards that have white pips on them that you will guaranteed be tapping this for 7 or 8 every time you get it on the battlefield. All right, let's go down a little bit. Average CMC here is going to be 2. That's pretty good. When I say average CMC, I shouldn't say 2. We have 24 permanents with a mana value of 2. Our average CMC is 1.21 with lands. Pretty decent. Of course, 100% of the mana that we make in the deck is white. Doesn't matter. Our opening hands look like this. Let's go ahead and play these hands. Play test the hand. Go to draw. We have a Mana Crypt. Wow, this hand is insane. Okay, so we'll play a land into Crypt. Tap the Crypt for Grim. Play this. Tap this for land tax. If we are first, this isn't a great play. But if we're going second, this is an awesome play. In our turn 2, we're going to leave this in here. We are going to trigger the land tax. We get our lands, right? So 1, 2, 3. These all go to our hand. Holy smokes. Play a land, tap here like this, cast Owl, tap here to equip Owl. Okay, cool. And now we can play Portable Hole if we want to. Pretty sick. Go to our next turn. Oops, let's shuffle our library. I'm gonna pretend that we didn't get there. Like, I'm assuming that maybe the player before us didn't get a land. So we go to here, we go to Thalia. Play Thalia, attack with Owl, have a good time, keep going. Inventor's Fair, this would get us the win that we need. From here, Inventor's Fair, we tap this, we have to pay 4, right? Tap here, play the 4 here, and then we look for Nim Death Mantle. Which costs 2. Shuffle our library. All right, we have 1 floating. Oops. We have 1 floating. Pay for this. This is sacked. Pay for the 1 here. Actually, we don't look for this. I'm just kidding. We're gonna look for a sack outlet. Let's look for the colorless one. Phyrexian Altar? No. Ashnod's Altar. Cool. And then we'll just cast this. Sack Owl. Tapping this for 1 white. Let it go to the command zone. And Nim Death Mantle is literally in it. Wow. Holy smokes. Oketra's Monument. Oh my gosh. This is absolutely bonkers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh my gosh. We just get there. Nim Death Mantle is there. All right. And then we put these cards on the bottom. Holy smokes. All right. Oh no. We'll let him go to the graveyard. Let's see. Death trigger on the stack. Sack this bad boy and you to bring back Ow. Wow, that is bananas. And then sack Owl. Look at the top. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So remember, the one thing I said was that you there's a lot here you can do. Like if we bring back Soul Ring here, we could get Recruiter of the Guard, but I actually don't want it that badly. I actually just want this. I want to be able to make 4 mana. So I'm going to put all of these on the bottom. Wow, this is bonkers. Move to the bottom of the library. I put 1 on there that wasn't supposed to be there, so we're going to get our view all our altar back. Okay. All right, so we get these. We can tap these for 3 and sack this for 4. We'll have 1 white floating. Get back Owl, sack Owl, have 2 colorless and a white. Here, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay. Well, we get this. We get you. We get you. And these can all go to the bottom. Move to the bottom of your library. All right. So, same with this. Move to the bottom. Okay. We have 2 colorless floating and a white. We can sack this to get back our Owl. 1. We have a white floating 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, and like here we get this, right? Like it's just it's so insane. Like here we can do all of these. If we get all of these, we can put these cards onto the bottom of the library. Move to the bottom, and like the line just continues. Like it doesn't stop. Like if we look at the top here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we get Moon Sliver. Like this line just doesn't stop. Like it just keeps going, and we keep finding there. And that's why the density is what it is. It makes it so us missing is almost impossible. And at this point, it is. And so that is what the line looks like. We would keep doing this over and over and over, vomiting out our entire deck until we get to the place where we can make infinite mana. And that's what a game looks like. It is. Look at this hand. Oh my gosh. Oh man, it's so good. All right. We have a land. All right, so we're gonna keep it, right? land. So here we can look for enduring renewal or an equipment. Actually, we look for Nim Death Mantle. Sorry, no, that's what this gets. Okay, so from here it's land here, here, this. We can suspend this. That's actually relevant. Tap here, sack this, cast Owl, turn 1. We have a colorless floating that we can't do anything with, which is fine. And we go to our next turn. Okay, this is tapped. From here, we actually need a land, but that's fine. This is, we'll take 1 suspension trigger off that. We'll cast this. We'll look for Nim. Nim puts it in the hand. Shuffle, close. All right, and just attack. Big boy, attack. Next turn, this goes down to 1 more. Can't do anything about it. That's okay. And then we're finally here. So now we're in this phase. This comes off. Let's see. We need to find a way to sacrifice our things. Minimus containment does not sacrifice. Ow, unfortunately, you're tapped. So we just do this. We cast Recruiter of the Guard. You all, we can look for Stoneforge Mystic here. Actually, that's not true. Recruiter of the Guard looks for a creature card 2 or less. Ooh. We'll look for Dreadnought. Okay, so this is gonna be fun. So we go to untap. Okay, we have 4. Okay, we go here. We tap this. We cast Nim, right? I'm so nervous about this. This is just straight YOLO. Sack you. Look at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so we have a few things. We have this. You may search your library for enchantment, reveal it, shuffle, and put that card on top. Okay. It might be worth it for us to do. I might do it like this. I might put these stacks pieces out because it's gonna be a little while before we can recast our commander. Yeah. Yep, that's fine. So from here, this is like a little bit of the risk that I'm taking, which is unnecessary, unfortunately. But you get it. I hope you like this. This was a really fun deck. Shout out to my man Charles. He's a mad genius. Phoenix also, and just like all the folks in our chat working on this deck. If you want more information, I'm sure Charles is gonna be talking a lot more about this deck as it comes out, and the build has only gotten better. Like this is like a moderate version of the deck. But you definitely are going to see more and more of it as especially after some of the tournaments that are coming up past. And I want to make sure that those happen before this comes out. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you like the deck, if you have any comments or questions, feel free to reach out. Any likes or comments in the video will be greatly appreciated. And if you have any other questions or concerns, let us know. And we will talk to you all later. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.